Hi, welcome to Teach with Me. I am Miss Jen. Today we are going to be working on our letter D of our directed draw A to Z. Today we are drawing a duck and it looks like this. And we're also going to be doing the writing. So you're going to need printer paper, a directed draw marker, otherwise known as a felt tip pen, some crayons, and that is it. Let's begin. All right, so turn your paper horizontally. Make sure the boys and girls know to have it horizontal because we are making a book. If you recall, all of these are going to be turned into a book for you to display at open house or just to have in your own home. All right, so what I'm going to tell the boys and girls is we're going to come up to this left side of the paper towards the top, and I'm going to have them draw a circle. Not a tiny circle and not a giant circle. A medium-sized circle, and that's kind of what I say, but I show it to them first. I'm going to say draw a circle about this size, and then you're going to want to have the kids show you their circle to make sure that it is about the right size. If it's teeny tiny, they're going to need to do it again. Please make sure they put their names on their papers or these will get mixed up. All right, so now the next thing we're going to do is the body of the duck. You're going to tell them to come down to the lower right side of the circle, and I'm going to say, boys and girls, put your finger where you think I want you to start. I'm going to kind of look around and make sure they have their fingers where I want them to go, and then I'm going to say, all right, put your marker there, and look what we're going to do. We're going to make a curved line, and that's not as curved as I would like. Kind of drew that kind of crazy, but that's okay. This is going to work. And you boys and girls are going to do the same thing. I'll show you my sample when I'm done to show you the one I did with the curvier line. Anyway, so now I'm going to tell them, boys and girls, we're going to put our pen where we end it, and we're going to make a big kind of a U shape like this. We're not going all the way to the bottom though, and we're going to stop at the bottom of the duck's face. And then I'm going to tell them, okay, in the center of the duck's body, we're going to make a wing. So we're going to make a line that curves kind of downward. We're going to put our marker back where we started and kind of close up that circle, but not completely. We're going to leave a little bit of a gap there. And then in the center, I'm going to tell them draw just sort of a wavy line that does not connect to the sides. Okay, we're going to do the duck's eye. So I'm going to tell them we're going to make kind of a small circle, but not teeny tiny. You want to be able to see it, and it's going to be towards the left side of the face. So over here, and again, I always have them watch me do it first. So I have the sample on the board, I have them watch me, and then I say go and have them do it. So it's look or watch and then do. Now you're going to kind of make a line down the center of the eye of the circle, and then they're going to color in the right side of the eye. And then you're going to tell them we're just going to make a cute little eyelash here just because it's cute. And then what we're going to do is we're going to draw the beak, and I'm going to tell them towards the center of the face, in the middle of that circle, we are going to make a line that starts here and curves outward. So here we go. And then we're going to pick up our pencil and we're going to curve it back to the face. And then right underneath that, we're going to go like this. Watch. I'm going to go a little bit below on the circle, and I'm going to make a horizontal line and stop it before I get to the end of the beak. Then I'm going to tell them we're going to make a little circle right on top of that beak. Now we're not done yet. We still have to make the feet. Ducks have webbed feet. And we're going to come down here, and here's how I show them to draw the webbed feet. We're going to make 2 vertical lines over here on the left side of the body, 2 vertical lines on the right side. Make sure they don't go all the way down to the bottom because we have to draw the webbed feet also. These are their legs. All right, then I'm going to show them how to make the legs like this. This is an easy way. They're going to make a curve to the left, a curve to the right, and then they're going to go up, down, up, down. And do it again. Curve to the left, curve to the right, up, down, up, down. Then we are still not done. Now we're going to make a horizon line. Our duck is going to be swimming in the water. We're going to make a horizon line that starts at the edge of the left side of the paper, ends at the duck. And we want it to start around the same place on the other side. So we're going to draw a line that starts at the duck and goes to the edge. It does not have to be straight because it is water. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a few lines within the water to sort of imitate waves. And we are still not done. For this one, you're going to need 2 shades of blue. I like to use a shading crayon for the sky, and then a crayon in a different blue for the water that I'm going to color differently. Because remember, shading crayons are going to go like this. And it gives, not only does it give a different texture, but it makes it lighter than if you're coloring it with a crayon. Whereas if you have the crayon, first of all, I'm going to trace all these lines. But it's going to look differently. It's going to look different, right? It's darker. I want to differentiate between the sky and between the sky and the water. All right, so I'm not going to color the whole thing. I'm going to show you my finished duck, the one I've already done. And you see this one has a bit more of a curve. I actually think I might like it a little bit more like that, but it's up to you. All right, so you can see how the bottom is a little darker, the top is shaded with the shading crayon so that there's a differentiation. All right, and that is it for the drawing. And now we're going to move on to the writing. Okay, I wanted to sort of explain a little bit better how the writing is done. Notice I have 3 different sentences here. D is for duck. A duck can fly and swim. Did you know ducks have 3 eyelids? Not every student is going to be able to do all of these sentences. But if this is something you do every single week where you're doing this writing, by the end of the year, they are going to be able to. But let me give you some ideas how to scaffold it a little bit again. So you can give a frame, and for those students that need a little help, you can give them a frame. D is for, and have them write the word duck. And because every time we do one of these, we want their first sentence to be A is for apple, B is for bee, C is for cactus, D is for duck. Whatever it is we're drawing, they are writing that first. Now, if they need more support, you can give them a complete frame where they're copying the entire thing. But if they need a little support, well, then they can copy the word off the board. And if I was using a frame, I would have this underlined so they would know which word they were looking at. Let's say they are using a frame, or they're doing it off of like a simple frame like this, or they are using a blank piece of paper and they're simply copying it. Well, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that sentence different. I'm going to say, good job, you finished that sentence. Let's work on doing the blue sentence now. I always make them in different colors so that I can refer them back to whichever one they're looking at. Now, I'll have them do this one at a time. Of course, I'm doing this in small group. Of course, I'm watching their printing. If they are making their letters incorrectly, I'm going to help them erase it and show them how to remake it. I'm not letting them do this to the point of frustration. If they're having trouble copying this from the board, then I'm going to write it on a piece of paper, on a scratch piece of paper, lined so they can see how to do it. If they're still having trouble transferring it a whole sentence, then I'm going to cover up the words one at a time, and I'm going to say, okay, let's write A. Now let's do duck. It's going to go here. Let's do can, and it's going to get progressively, I'll adapt it for the student. But let's say this is easy and they're ready to do a third sentence. Well, then I will have some ideas on, or I will have written a sentence already because maybe we'll have talked about it before we start the group. Did you know ducks have 3 eyelids is the sentence we are going with here. But on my sample I did you know ducks lay eggs? It can literally be anything. But throughout every time we do writing, I tell them we are going to start our sentences differently. It would not sound right if all of our sentences started with the same word. D is for duck. Ducks can fly and swim. Ducks have 3 eyelids. Ducks lay eggs. I would say that doesn't sound right. You need to have some variety in how you start your sentences. This is the beginning of their writing instruction. All right, and I think that is it. Okay, so let me show you my t-shirt today. It just says the alphabet and then I love you is highlighted. It is getting close to Valentine's Day, so it is a Valentine's Day shirt. Anyway, if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you next time.